I'd like to welcome Martin Griffiths from Acton Health and Safety. Hi, Martin.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me along today.
That's a pleasure, mate. I'm very grateful. As we're going back into, well, when we go back into the office is more the thing. We need to look out for some certain things. Could you give us a bit of a steer on what we need to look out for?
Of course, John. So when you do go into the premise for the first time, you've got to remember, so currently we're about 5 weeks into lockdown. When lockdown is lifted, or if you do decide to go back to work before then, obviously keeping in the government guidelines, you have to remember that the toilets, the sinks, the showers, they've not been used in at least 5 weeks. And you have an issue called Legionella disease, which happens in stagnant water. So it's a good idea to flush your toilet, making sure that the lid's down several times before you actually start using it properly, making sure that you run your taps and your shower heads for at least 5 minutes to make sure it flushes all that stagnant water out. And this should always be done for if any taps, shower heads or toilets haven't been used for over a week. And this is done by having a decent health and safety system in place and making sure that you implement it correctly.
So, talking about that then, what is a pain-free way of implementing a system?
Well, it's very important to make sure that how you're managing your health and safety is done as simple as possible. Now, if you have your own health and safety advisors within the company, it's making sure that they're providing and doing the advice and getting the support that they need. If you're using that external advice, so especially for the SMEs, it's making sure that the external advisor is a hands-on advisor, making sure that they come on a regular basis, and it's not just a case of doing a risk assessment once a year. It's having that support, having that place to go if you need that information, and making sure when they implement something, it's reasonable and practicable.
Sensibly, reasonably practical, Martin. What really does that mean?
Okay, so it's giving the right advice and putting in the right procedure without any unnecessary cost or anything like that, really. So for an example on that, one of my clients, 3-story building, 2nd floor up, they have an access point onto a flat roof where there was no safety rail or barrier. So someone could quite realistically fall off the edge if they were going out there. Now, the person that went out there only went out there once or twice a year. A safety precaution could be to put up a barrier. Now, that would cost £10,000 or £15,000. But you could quite easily put a harness, a bit of training in place for that staff member, putting some safety signs up, making sure that the access points are locked, and you're saving yourself between £10,000 or £15,000. Having the right management system in place to do that is quite important, and in line with an advisor would help you to manage that reasonably and practicably.
Smashing. You've just taken my last question away about a management system, but I suppose that's an effective way of monitoring what you're doing.
Yeah, but you've got to make sure that your management system is the right type of management system. So there's lots of different types out there that you can buy off the shelf. If you've got an internal advisor, you can have them built internally, but making sure that it's bespoke to you, not going for these systems where they turn around and say, well, you must change your processes to fit our system. Every company is different. Every company processes are different, and it's making sure that it suits your needs and you're not suiting their needs. You're the company at the end of the day, making sure that your safety management system covers all your risks and all your hazards within your company, and making sure that the management system can react when needed to.
Martin, there's some great nuggets of information. Thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you, John.